Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Shelley Winters, comedian Kevin Nealon, jazz great Joe Williams, and an editorial rebuttal by Floyd R. Turbo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Please. That's very nice of you. Thank you very much. Please, be seated. Well, you're good at reading instructions, aren't you? It says applaud. How about worship or something like that? You sound in a good mood. You know, if Mondale got that kind of reception, he'd be president.
Right.
How are you tonight? Good mood? We got a good show for you. Did some of you come in a van? I saw a van out here with a banner on it that says, "To hell with the snail darters, save the Democrats." Well, before I start, I'd like to personal welcome to a new member of our viewing audience. Joe Namath got married this week, and this will be the first Friday night he's been home in 22 years. So we added one viewer. You know why everybody's in a good mood? Not only because it's Friday. The weather. This is autumn. We have one day of autumn in California. And you were here for it. And it was beautiful today. It was so lovely today, I saw a large snail having his hair blow-dried by a leaf blower. Tried to get them all in one joke. Anyway, we are in Burbank. We like to plug Burbank. I kid them, but this is a nice community. You know that Burbank was discovered by the explorer Balboa? He was looking for a place to bury his dead. I shouldn't do that. First I say I'm not going to put Burbank down, and then I zing them. Now, I recommend from time to time while you're out here, after the show, you probably like to have a little dinner, right?
Right.
Some of the finest restaurants are right here in Burbank, on Burbank's famed Restaurant Row. I recommend heartily a new French restaurant just opened, Le Barf. It's I don't know. I don't trust a French restaurant that has a revolving basket of escargot in the roof like Colonel Sanders. But I was there the other day for lunch, and I said to the waiter, I said, "Do you have any flaming dishes?" And he said, "Yes, our maitre d' Jacques." High-class joint. The waiter asked me if I wanted to see the Gatorade list. I broke the comedy rule, 4 in a row. This, as you may or may not know, because people get pretty hip to this, even people who are not in the entertainment business. Television is now, I think, our sweep weeks, right?
Right.
This is the period of time when you'll see a lot of shows, controversial shows, titillating shows, because the networks go all out to get big ratings for the next, 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
I know. They're going too far when they do it on People's Court. By the ratings. Last night, a defendant didn't like the decision. He mooned Judge Wapner. Well, I'm kind of sorry the election is over. It was so much fun talking about the election, but have you noticed the advantages of winning the election? Now, President Reagan is surrounded by squads of Secret Service men to watch over him. Mondale has a little sticker posted to his phone that says, "Dial 911. You know, I have to feel sorry for Mrs. Ferraro. You know, it's historical. She's a nice woman, but now she's back to vacuuming and watering. No. Oh, well, so is George Bush. Big deal. Now, if you've been following the news, almost on the front page, the Reagan administration is already talking about ways of increasing taxes. You following that? See, Mondale made the mistake of mentioning that before the election. The Reagan administration is very clever. The president does not like to use the word tax increase. You know what they say? Revenue enhancement. Don't you love that? Revenue enhancement. They love euphemisms. Reagan refers to nuclear war as population pruning. Look, when you call the hydrogen bomb Mr. Happy Mushroom, I mean, come on. The president, as you probably know, is here in California. He's up at his ranch, which is close to what, Solvang, or around Santa Barbara. He's riding around on Nag 1. Trouble is, the president's been out campaigning so long, he can't stop campaigning. He walked up a redwood tree up on his ranch and says, well, age is no issue. I won't bring up your rings if you don't bring up mine. A tree. But there was a kind of a picture in the paper of the president and the first lady, Nancy, went horseback riding. Kind of a beautiful sight. They were riding into the sunset singing, "This land is our land for 4 more years." You probably know that here in California we had an election. West Hollywood was declared a city. East Hollywood is declared a zoo. And they just had their first election in West Hollywood, and the new mayor was just elected of West Hollywood, the poppin' fresh Pillsbury Doughboy. It's a nice community. They just declared Judy Garland's birthday an official holiday. Just for you guys. You're in a great mood tonight. We got a good show. We have the Shelley Winters is with us tonight, who will say anything and often does. We have a clever young comedian, Kevin Nealon, is with us tonight. And I think with the greatest jazz singer ever, Mr. Joe Williams, is with us tonight. Stay where you are. We'll be back in just a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're hot tonight.
The Honda Prelude. Some people like to drive it wide open.
I'd like to propose a toast to dinner.
Introducing the newest Le Menu dinners, like flounder with savory salmon mousse and tender chicken cordon bleu.
Here's to a superb dinner. And to the beautiful woman who had the taste to serve it.
There's always something special on the menu.
This micro has macro modeling and comes with multiple mini modes. It'll format, forecast, Barrett.
Some computer salespeople seem to know more about buzzwords than computers.
It's compatible and expandable.
But at Businessland, our people have an average of 4 years' experience in the computer industry and years of business experience, which is why our salespeople don't sound like
Infallible.
salespeople. Businessland, where business people are going to buy computers.
Who has intelligence, powerful sound, and moves with ease? Only RCA. Introducing the ultimate VCR. It's easily portable. It's intelligent, so you can select by remote control exactly what you want to record right from your TV screen. And it has powerful VHS hi-fi sound that's superior to any audio cassette. The ultimate VCR, only from RCA. Technology that excites the senses.
Doc Severinsen and the great NBC Orchestra. Yes, indeed. Recently, this network broadcast an editorial which our station, WXYZZ, came out in support of a law to ban smoking in public places, such as restaurants and airplanes. As you know, it is the policy of this station to invite qualified spokesmen to speak in rebuttal. Here tonight, with an opposing view in favor of smoking in public places, is Mr. Floyd R. Turbo. Mr. Turbo.
Good evening. My name is Floyd R. Turbo American. And to our French-speaking viewers, bonsoir. This commie caca station says people should not be allowed to smoke cigarettes in public. This raises the question, kiss my butt. They say the airline should do away with smoking on airplanes because non-smokers have to breathe it, and because a fire may break out and destroy the plane. What I want to know is, what do they have insurance for? One time I lit up a cigar on an airplane and the stewardess told me to put it out, and I said, I will if you will. Last night in a restaurant, an old lady at the next table asked me to put out my cigarette because it was making her sick. I said, okay, if you put a bag over your head. I mean, if they ban smoking, what will they take away next? My right to scratch myself with my bowling ball? The right to toss my cookies out the VFW window? If smoking in public is banned, what will they offer a guy at a firing squad? A chili dog? They say smoking lots of cigarettes can make it hard for you to breathe. I say looking at broads in topless bars makes it hard for me to breathe, too. But nobody's trying to ban boobs. They say smoking shortens your life. Cow Twinkies. I'm going to die from the same hereditary disease my father and grandfather died from, cleaning my shotgun. They say smoking stunts your growth. This is dumb. Kids don't smoke, and look how short they are. Now the Surgeon General claims that smoking hurts your heart. Who is this Surgeon General anyway? I do not know how trust a general who is a surgeon. I will not share my foxhole with a man wearing a rubber glove. These jerks say if I stop smoking, my lungs will become pink again. I say pink lungs are effeminate. What will they want me to have next? Lavender hemorrhoids? People forget about all the good smoking does. It turns your fingers yellow, in case you want to flip off a Japanese tourist. I mean, and smoking calms you down. What better way is there to relax than have a red-hot 3-inch flame 3 inches from your nose? If they take away our cigarettes, we'll have to switch to chewing tobacco. Then things will be a mess. How would you like to see your grandma spit like Pete Rose? They say I shouldn't smoke in bed because I might fall asleep and set the bed on fire. If that happens, it will be the first time in 30 years my wife moved on a mattress. And think about this. If they ban smoking, and then what's the guy going to do after he gets lucky? Play the harmonica? I, for one, don't want to walk by an apartment building and hear 47 bad versions of Red River Valley. If God had not meant man to smoke, he would not given us shirts with breast pockets. In short, what I have just said tonight is the truth. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ashtrays. If we let the government tell us what we can do with our mouths, before you know it, they'll make this illegal. Thank you.
introduces soft breadsticks. So crisp outside, yet so soft inside. Absolutely the most incredible breadstick you'll ever eat. New soft breadsticks.
Thank you. We are back. Thank you, Mr. Turbo. Thank you. Lloyd R. Fine American.
Yes.
We have later on Kevin Nealon, a funny young comedian, and great Joe Williams will join us. Shelley Winters is here. Shelley Winters is a consummate actress. She is really superb. She teaches acting. But what I like about her is, unlike a lot of people who come out here, she has no facade at all. Whatever's on her mind, she lets it all, I don't want to say hang out, but she is honest. Would you please welcome Miss Shelley Winters? I did not see you with that until I was just making my change backstage, and I saw you hobbling with that cane.
Yeah, the doctor told me to keep my foot up.
Well, were you
I saw the
break
doctor
dancing or
this
what?
morning, and he said I got to keep my foot up. Dr. Earhart at St. John's. He
Well,
said,
doctor would know. That's what he gets paid for.
all right. Is that getting in your way?
A little bit, yeah. Can we?
Do you have anything else I could do?
Well, sure, we could.
Isn't there something for little people? I've
Yes,
seen a show where you have
Little Women.
people.
No, but almost had a joke there, but I couldn't quite put it together.
Now, please. Okay.
Now, what happened? This is not.
You're not gonna believe it.
This is not joking.
No.
I'll try to believe it.
Okay, try to believe it. You know how sometimes you say to me, Shelley, are you rowing with both oars in the water? You say that
I
to me?
did say. I said I didn't think you had both oars in the water. You know.
Well, I just acted with a lovely actress. She's Dan Aykroyd's wife. She's gorgeous, looks like Marilyn Monroe.
Donna Mills, isn't it?
Donna Dixon.
Donna Dixon.
Well, she has no
Donna
oars.
Mills is married to one of the Mills brothers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyway, we did a show called Hawaiian Heat in Hawaii. Have you ever been to Hawaii?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but don't go.
Oh, you shouldn't say that. It's beautiful.
It is
Why?
gorgeous, I think. I just
What
visited
happened?
hospitals and, well, anyway.
You were
what
scuba
happened-
diving.
No, nothing is glamorous. The first shot, first day, we're doing this picture. Donna Dixon and I are in a little cabin about 6 by 6, and they say, don't come out till we yell action. And we were feeling a little queasy because the boat was, you know, it was tied up at the wharf. And Donna opens the door and says, oh, come back here. There's lots of fresh air here. And which I did. There was a window, and so the sun was in our eyes, and I stepped to where the window was, and boom, down about 8 feet. Luckily, I have very strong arms from swimming. And I don't think I should go on boats, did I? Poseidon Adventure?
Yeah, you've had not good luck.
Anyway, I caught myself. I just fell about 8 feet, and she was holding me like in a cross-chest thing, screaming her head off. Help, 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 and I'm screaming.
That's what one should always yell when you're in trouble.
Yes, and she's holding me by the belt, and I'm yelling, help! I'm in this hatch. This hatch on the boat was open for no reason that I can figure out, except I'm going to do a voodoo thing on the captain. And
You fell down a hatch on the boat.
a hatch on the boat.
Yes.
And we're yelling, help, help, and the assistant director is saying, no, not yet. Wait till we yell action. He thinks we're acting. And she's holding me by the belt and screaming. I mean, she's a very sweet girl, very pretty.
You were in a
and-
wheelchair, I understand, for a while.
Well, anyway, after this, they talked me into staying there and doing the show, which may or may not have been a good idea. I hope I don't have a
at that,
staph
that's-
infection. Anyway.
Well, you're very lucky. You could have broken your leg, or...
I could have been killed.
That's even worse.
Yes.
That's worse than a broken leg. Yeah, that's a broken leg, then death.
Johnny,
much
somehow I always knew I'd come hobbling out here with a cane. You would be about 82, and I'll be about...
83. No.
Well, anyway.
I couldn't resist. It was too good a straight line.
Okay.
I'm sorry you did that. I mean,
Yes, I am too.
I suppose this is going to be a lawsuit now.
No, I'm not going to sue. I don't believe. I just want my leg to get well. I don't sue
You ever
anybody.
sued anybody? Haven't you ever sued anybody?
No.
Well,
People
you're one of the few
sued me.
people in Hollywood who have never sued anybody.
I just read that Joan Collins chipped, not Joan Collins, Gina Lola Bridget chipped her tooth and got $90,000. She went to a dinner with her agent. No, her dentist. Her dentist.
You went to dinner with her dentist?
And she got $90,000. And
What happened?
I don't know. She bit on a shrimp with a pebble. Anyway.
She sued your dentist or the,
No, she
or
sued
the shrimp or what?
I don't know what she did.
You sure you got your story correct?
Well,
Have you been sued?
No, I've had a codeine with Emperor because it hurts. I don't know what to do with this foot. Could you put this? I'm supposed to keep it up.
We can get you a little pillow or something.
No.
I want you to be
Put this
comfortable.
over here, yeah. Put it over here. I got to keep it up.
All right.
So it won't. I don't know.
Keeps the blood from all going on to that end.
Whatever it is, you're supposed to keep your
Here.
foot. Well, how does the bottom of my shoe look? Anyway.
Have you ever been sued?
Yes, I've been sued.
What were you sued for?
A lady in a health club pushed me, and I pushed her back.
Why did she push you?
She pushed me because I was trying to get around a table, and she wouldn't let me, and I pushed her out of the way, and then I went outside, and
what happened to her?
Nothing. Until about 20 minutes later, she fell, or 10 minutes later, she fell down, and said, anybody whose husband or son is a lawyer and is a witness, I'll...
No kidding.
Yes, and the insurance company said pay her. They wouldn't go to. I mean, I really was right, and she wouldn't go. They wouldn't go to trial. They said let's pay her. So there was $20,000. The lawyer got something like 17, and she got 3. And she was.
I know that story.
And she's a.
We're gonna take a break.
She was a professional sewer too.
There are people who do that. They set you up and then they have a lawsuit and you settle.
Can I tell you what happened after this?
Sure. We're gonna take a break and we'll come back.
Don't say break.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll take an interruption.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to the medical center here and find out what happened.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
He'll say, I told you so, when he finds out that my cold kept me up. He said, we need Vicks NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, so you can rest medicine. He used it. He's sleeping like a baby. I tried this tablet. I'm still coughing, aching, feverish. He sure told me.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, so you can rest medicine.
From Vicks, of course.
California Renault Jeep dealers, the ones to watch.
Before you go to work, go to Jack in the Box for the new Canadian Crescent Breakfast. With melting cheese, egg, and now tender Canadian-style bacon. All on a buttery flake croissant. It could be the start of a beautiful day. The new Canadian Crescent at Jack in the Box. Now buy a Crescent Breakfast, get a commuter mug for 29 cents.
We are back talking with Shelley Winters.
Very good.
Okay. Anyway, you're going to be okay from your
That's
injury.
going to be all right. I
that's
saw
good.
the doctor this morning, and he said, just keep my foot up.
Okay, did you finish the show?
Yes,
We're doing?
I did Hawaiian Heat, which has they have 2 gorgeous young men on it.
Yeah.
It was fun. One of them was my son, who kept hugging me.
Is that right?
Jeff McDonald, I think that was his name.
Are you going to do that again? Remember last time you were here and we had the young
I don't want to
lady on?
hear about it. Annie Potts.
We played it on the anniversary show.
I know.
You sat here next to, what was the girl's name? Annie
Yeah.
Potts, and said you knew her from somewhere, and it turned out you'd worked in a picture with her in the same scene.
I have an even worse story. I don't think I should... Well, I'll tell
Well, go
it.
ahead.
Well, I was at the actor's studio where there's a stairway, and they weren't letting observers up, just members, because Ann was teaching a class. And a gentleman, and Brett Summers, who I know quite well, came up the stairs, and this man looked familiar, but I really didn't know him. And I had to say, are you a member or an observer? And he looked at me and I said, are you a member? He said, for 20 years. And I said, oh. And he had sort of blondish hair here and gray hair and sort of well-built. And I said, well, he looked like he came from California, tan. Yeah. And I said, well, why don't you go to the Actors Studio in California? Which incidentally is having a big benefit Monday night with Goldberg.
Goldie Hawn?
Wolfie Goldberg, that wonderful black comedian.
Whoopi Goldberg?
Whoopi Goldberg, that's it. Anyway, what was I saying?
This man was, you said, why didn't you go to the Actors Studio?
Steps. That's right. And I said, well, why? He said, I'm a member here for 20 years. And I said, oh, really? Well, why? And then he said, Shelley, Tony Franciosi, your ex-husband, your friend.
You were married to him?
I was married to him. Has that ever happened to you?
No. No, I have the decency to remember.
I mean,
wouldn't you know?
Do they always remember?
Oh, yes. How long were you married to Tony?
7. Well, we lived together 2 years, then we were married 5.
Well, 7 years then.
Well, maybe I wasn't paying attention. I don't know what it was.
You didn't know it? You didn't recognize? Oh.
Well, he looked different. I remember him as a thin, young Italian boy. And now he looks sort of like a tall... Maybe he had heels on or something.
Yeah, could have been.
Or boots or something. He had gray hair.
Well, you were married to him? You were married to Vittorio Gassman?
Yes, him I remember.
Why? Because he's Italian?
No, both Italian. One's American. No, but I saw Vittorio do Hamlet. Recently I saw him. He was wonderful and played downtown a one-man show. But in Italy, when we got the divorce, I saw him do Hamlet. And he said...
In Italian?
In Italian. And he said, well, I waited as long as I could to go backstage. And then I got backstage, and he said, well, what did you think? And I said, well, it was in Italian. I don't speak Italian. He said, you know what Hamlet's about.
Yeah.
And I stood there, and he said, well, was it better than Olivier's? And I said, no. If you ever have a husband who does Hamlet, you say it's the best one you've ever seen. He gave me a black eye. Maybe I'm accident
Good for Victorio. I mean, you got it, sure.
Well, anyway, as the years have gone by, he's quite remarkable.
Nice.
He's a
and
wonderful
you stayed
actor.
friends with the gentleman?
Yes, we're friends.
That's nice.
Yes, but I should have said it was the best one I ever saw.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But it was...
Are you bitter about your relationships with men at all?
No,
not
at all. I've enjoyed every one of them.
Do you think there's... do you think there's somebody out there? I mean...
For what?
Good men? For whatever. I mean...
Well, I don't know. See, when you're in showbiz, and television's all over the world, and movies are all over the world, good men don't travel like good wine. Well, they have their own careers and their own, things. I mean, haven't you noticed?
I've never heard that analogy before. Good men don't travel like...
Well, they have their own businesses.
Right.
Like Joan Rivers wasn't on the show last night, right? Last week.
That's right.
Because her husband had a heart attack.
Yes, Edgar was quite ill.
But he's okay now.
Seems to be getting better.
Well, usually Christmas, I see Joan, Thanksgiving, and Edgar at the Tavern on the Green in New York.
Uh-huh.
And, it's quite Joan looks very relaxed and thin and everything, but Edgar has the problem of they have the jokes on a computer, and can we talk?
Sure.
Well,
there's a point you're making here.
I think I better not make it.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I had married a manager or somebody who traveled with me. I wouldn't have fallen down a hatch in a boat. When you've got a manager who's your husband is taking care of you, they take care of you.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And Edgar really has the responsibility of her bookings and her jokes and her
He's with her and travels all the time?
That's right. And he's like 90% of her...
Do you have a manager now?
No.
No.
I'm thinking of getting one. Anybody out there who no, never.
What quality in a man appeals to you most?
Sex.
Really? Oh, come on. Are you being frivolous or
I'm being a little facetious.
I mean, humor, gentleness, whatever.
Yes, that his humor, intelligence,
yeah,
and sex. No, wait a minute. Now let me explain it. the quality that that appeals to you in a man, quite seriously,
All right.
would make him not want to follow an actress around the world. I mean, I'm supposed to go to Italy now, and I just was in France.
Somebody told me you did a news broadcast
in
on
French, and I don't speak French.
Well, now tell me how you did that.
I don't know.
The questions were in French. Obviously, somebody interpreted them for you.
Very fast.
Yes.
And they would ask, and you know, it was at Deauville. There was this big, I don't know what you call it, film festival, and they showed 3 or 4 of the films I'd done, the important films. Mind if I mention them?
Of course not.
A Place in the Sun, The Balcony, Night of the Hunter. You know, I've done some illustrious films.
A Double Life?
Double Life, yeah.
Double Life?
Anyway.
Yeah.
These kids who are just seeing them now, they're 20 years old, and it's sort of another generation. Anyway, they were asking me very deep intellectual questions about the directors and the making of the film, and I didn't quite know what to say because they're questions that I would never ask.
What, really?
Like, yes, was the inner life of Robert Mitchum in Night of the Hunter something you could relate to?
Oh, that's a pretty esoteric question.
I mean, things like very esoteric.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, within, yes.
Yes, it was esoteric. And so I would say something like, yes, of course. Then there was a man, Michael Wilson, who would answer in French for 5 minutes.
So you wouldn't know what he said?
I don't know what he said, but it was good because they applauded.
So you don't know if you were it, but he was it.
Yes, he was wonderful. He did all kinds of things. But it was interesting. The Deauville Festival is very strange. It's in France, at a beautiful place. Not as beautiful as Hawaii, I think. But you don't fall through boats.
Oh.
Anyway, what was I saying?
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, the point
The
is...
foggiest idea.
They give this very serious American film festival in Deauville every August.
Should have been fun. Now you're going to Italy, back to Italy?
I'm supposed to go do a film.
If you get married again, you going to marry an Italian this time?
No, I think I'll try somebody Polish or something like that.
Oh, all right.
Wow, could you meet me later backstage? I don't know. I haven't had luck with Italians, have I?
No, apparently not.
You haven't had luck either.
Well, that's true.
What kind were yours?
That is so tempting, but I'm not going to. Always thinking of... Just speak kindly, you know.
Yeah, is your crew getting younger, or are we getting older?
Yeah.
I look at all these handsome young men around here. The sound man, this man is pointing to the clock.
Yeah.
The orchestra seems our age, but the crew...
Well, okay. We're going to... You want old fogies play something? We'll be back in a second with Kevin Neely and Joe Williams. That's it. Thank you. That was Doc Severinsen and the Social Securitors playing Lover. Now, this gentleman was coming out here. It was on our show once before. His name is Kevin Neal, and he has a rather bizarre sense of humor. And Kevin's going to be appearing for a week at the New Improvisation in San Diego, November the 21st, and he'll be at Caesars in Lake Tahoe, December the 5th to 9th. Will you welcome Kevin Nealon? Kevin?
Thank you very much. You know something? I think I'm a lot more serious now than like when I was in high school. Like now, when I throw an egg at a house, I mean it. Just for a reason. You know? I feel more responsible. I really do. You know, it's just I'm planning ahead. I'm getting ready for the Christmas holidays already. Been doing a lot of hours and stuff like that. Whoa. I had a weird thing happen to me the other night. I'm sitting in a bar, sitting next to some guy, some black guy. I think he was black. He might have been navy blue. The light wasn't that good. And I noticed this girl down at the end of the bar. Nice girl. I guess she had been drinking a little bit, but, you know, I'm sure she still had it all together. So I carried her outside. I propped her up. It was really sad. You should have been there. I didn't know what to do, you know? It's just, you should have seen her. A lot of makeup, globs of lipstick, heavy cheek rouge. It was either cheek rouge or she had some bad rug burns on her cheeks. I don't know what it was. But I was really tempted to take advantage of her, you know? But I'm not that kind of guy, you know? It's the way you're brought up, I guess. I took her wallet. I got the cash, you know? I try to, you know, everybody does crazy things for money. There's crazy people out there. I read about 2 years ago, these two guys, they robbed a bank, you know, and they didn't want to be recognized naturally, so they pulled nylon stockings over their heads. Actually, they used pantyhose, so, you know, they had to walk real close together when they did it. They got the cash. I'm trying to save a little money, you know? I'm taking a vacation. I'm really excited. I take a vacation every year. Last year I went to Niagara Falls, had a nice time. You know, I was a real tourist. I bought a camera, real nice one, expensive one. One of those black ones, you know? And stayed in a cute little hotel. They even put me in the honeymoon suite because it was the only room available. I was staying with a nice couple from Nebraska. Got some nice pictures, too. Yeah. But I'm real excited about this. This year I'm taking a nice vacation. Can I show you where I'm going? I've been planning this. You probably can't see it from where you're sitting. That's why I brought the map in. Okay. You ever have somebody show you where to go on a map? They take your map, they look at it, they say, okay, you want to go someplace nice? Okay, here's where you want to go. Okay, well, it's not on this map. What you got to do is you got to come off of Route 33 over here. You got to cut down 17. You can't miss it. Take the map, though, just in case you get lost. Like you're going to get halfway there and ask somebody else for directions. Excuse me, I'm a little lost. I'm right here now. I want to get over here. See, now, I use the map a lot because I drive quite a bit. I don't mind flying or anything. It's just that sometimes you run into these hassles at the airport. Okay, alrighty. I think when an airliner loses your luggage, they should give you first choice of the baggage coming off the next flight. A couple of years ago, I had a nice vacation. I drove around the country, went through Idaho, up into Washington. Let me show you where I went on the map here. Okay, well, it's not on this map. Pretend that's Idaho, though. Wait a minute. Okay, there's Idaho. Pretend that's Idaho. Okay, I went through Idaho, went up into Washington, over here. Went all through Washington, down into Oregon. A lot of mountains in Oregon. Went all through the mountains. I went down into California. California's nice. I like California. I think probably the nicest place that I went out of the whole trip was Hawaii, which is out there. Okay, not the main island, but those two little islands. They're right off the main island. Oh, yeah. I guess you got Maui and Catalina, I think was the other one. I'm not sure. But, you know, you got to have fun. I really try to enjoy myself because life is so short. It really is. You know, you could go anytime. You could get hit by a car. You could choke on something. Look at Mama Cass. She was my favorite singer, and she choked on a sandwich. She was eating the sandwich. Just like that. It can happen. Well, you know, my landlady, she eats quite a bit, and she's pretty heavy. She's big, fat, heavy lady, and her legs are taking a lot of beatings. You know, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of varicose veins. You know, that happens. One leg alone, you should see. It's like that looks like the back of one of her legs. When I first moved into the apartment, I asked her for directions down to the laundromat. She lifted her leg up like this. She said, okay. Here's where you want to go. Okay, well, it's not on this leg. You got to come up over here. You know... Oh. Well, thank you very much. I bought a computer digital watch. Yeah, these have all kinds of gadgets on it. I think real big, fat, heavy people should have to wear these watches. And every time they walk backwards, they should push this little button. That way you hear the guy coming, you get out of the way. Nobody gets hurt. I like to eat just as much as anybody else. You know, I really do. Sometimes I really eat a lot. At picnics, I eat quick, too, because I'm afraid of the bugs, you know. I hate nothing more annoying than a fly buzzing around your head, you know. I never kill the flies, though. I catch them alive, and I get even with them. I tape both of their wings together so they can't fly, and then for about an hour I do this to them. You gotta do it. Last picnic I went to was the 4th of July. We always had great picnics, but we never had the fireworks because the town was afraid that somebody would get hurt. Instead of fireworks, to get that same effect, we go down to the field when it got dark out, and we just stand around and just rub our eyes really hard like that. And you see all those little stars shooting around, you know? And then for a grand finale, we do this. Thank you, Kevin. We'll be back in a moment.
Over the years, a lot of small businesses have developed their own systems of communicating.
Yes, sir. Eric, talk to
But
Eric.
now there's a better way. Meet the Merlin system from AT&T. Merlin's a telephone, an intercom, a conference caller, and has dozens of features you can select.
Henderson.
So Merlin can grow as your small business grows. Call about Merlin. AT&T Information Systems, when you've got to be right.
Okay, now we're about to hear Mr. Joe Williams is here tonight. Joe tomorrow will be at the Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas performing with the Las Vegas University Band, and on the 17th of this month, he'll be at the University of Iowa in Iowa City. Would you welcome, please, the great Joe Williams.
Kiss me a little at a time. Hold me a little at a time. Whisper things in my ear. Tell me what I want to hear. Be mine, just a little at a time. If you hurt me, I won't mind. A little at a time, just a little at a time. Trust me, and darling, you will find that romance is all a state of mind. Here I am in this mess, sending out an SOS to love me just a little at a time. just a little at a time. Just a little at a time. Oh, trust me, and darling, you will find. You'll find that romance is all a state of mind. Here I am in this mess, sending out an SOS for you to love me just a little at a time. Love me just a little at a time. A little at a time. A little at a time. Yeah.
Joe Williams.
Bay Area traffic. It can drive you crazy. Is there any escape? Watch Cover Story on Monday.
Before we leave, I want to thank Joe Williams. And you are directing a play currently?
Yes.
What's it called?
It's called Full Moon and High Tide in the Ladies' Room.
And that's playing?
Well, I'm directing it at the Actors Studio, and we'll probably do it off-Broadway. It's by Marcia Halford, and it's very interesting.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Some of my guests next week: Barry Manilow, Kenny Rogers, Sammy Davis Jr., George Siegel, Lyle Alzado, Buddy Rich, and Balzac McGee.
Next on Friday Night Videos, a private interview with Sting of the Police, plus new videos from Jeffrey Osborne and Julian Lennon, and a legendary rock video from Jimi Hendrix. NBC, let's all be there.